The State of Israel, often lauded for its medical advancements, has been dogged for decades by a sinister allegation, the trafficking of human organs. Whispers and testimonies point to a horrifying possibility, one in which Palestinian lives are treated with callous disregard. This is not merely an academic debate, it cuts to the very heart of human rights and the sanctity of life itself. The evidence, though often circumstantial, paints a picture too disturbing to ignore. It is crucial to acknowledge that the Israeli government vehemently denies any involvement in organ trafficking. They often brand such accusations as malicious fabrications, designed to demonize the Jewish state. However, a steady drip of accusations, coupled with documented incidents of wrongdoing, has cast a long shadow over Israel's medical practices. The international community, often hesitant to criticize Israel, has largely remained silent on this issue. This silence, whether born of political expediency or a lack of concrete evidence, only emboldens those who seek to profit from the suffering of others. It is time for a light to be shone on this dark corner of the world, time for a thorough and impartial investigation. As an Israeli civics teacher at Eliran Malki controversially stated, "Sorry, just asking, why doesn't the State of Israel make the necessary decision to harvest organs from October 7th detainees? There are so many patients waiting for a miracle. Why not take these subhumans and force them to do something useful for humanity?" The facts are that Israel has already been doing this for decades. The accusations against Israel are not new. They first surfaced during the First Intifada, the Palestinian uprising that began in 1987. Palestinian families grieving the loss of loved ones began to report a chilling phenomenon. Bodies returned by Israeli authorities were often missing vital organs. Dr. Hatem Abu Ghazaleh, a prominent Palestinian pathologist, raised the alarm as early as 1990, documenting numerous cases of unexplained organ removals. One of the most high-profile cases involves Rami Abu Mustafa, a Palestinian man released from Israeli detention in June 2024. Upon his return, his family was horrified to discover he was missing his sight, spleen, and a portion of his colon. Mr. Mustafa claims he was subjected to numerous medical procedures without his consent, his pleas for information ignored by his Israeli captors. The case of Dr. Yehuda Hiss, the former head of Israel's National Institute of Forensic Medicine, adds another layer of unease. In a startling admission, Dr. Hiss confessed to harvesting organs from Palestinian corpses without the consent of their families. While he insisted that these organs were used for legitimate medical research, his actions violated basic ethical guidelines and fueled suspicions of a more nefarious trade. The allegations against Israel are not confined to its borders. Disturbingly, there is growing evidence of Israeli involvement in international organ trafficking networks. In 2003, a scandal erupted in South Africa, exposing an organ ring that included Israeli doctors and brokers. Victims, often impoverished and desperate, were lured with promises of payment for their kidneys, only to be exploited and discarded. Another case, unfolding in Kenya, further implicates Israeli citizens in the global organ trade. Mediheal Hospital, a private facility in Nairobi, came under scrutiny for its unusually high number of kidney transplants involving Israeli patients. An investigation revealed a sophisticated operation involving fictitious donors and a network of corrupt doctors. While the full extent of Israeli involvement is still being uncovered, the case highlights the potential reach of this illicit trade. The arrest of Rabbi Levi Isaac Rosenbaum in the United States in 2009 sent shockwaves through the Jewish community. Rosenbaum, a respected figure in New York's Orthodox Jewish community, was charged with brokering illegal kidney transplants for over a decade. His operation preyed on vulnerable individuals in Israel, offering them meager sums for their organs, which were then sold at exorbitant prices to desperate patients in the U.S. The allegations of organ trafficking against Israel raise profound ethical and legal questions. If true, they represent a grave violation of human rights and a betrayal of the trust placed in the medical profession. The international community has a moral obligation to demand accountability and ensure that those responsible are brought to justice. The Palestinian Authority has repeatedly called for an independent investigation into the allegations, but their pleas have largely been ignored. The United Nations, often quick to condemn human rights abuses in other parts of the world, has been conspicuously silent on this issue. This lack of action only serves to perpetuate a culture of impunity. emboldening those who seek to profit from the suffering of others. The organ trade thrives in the shadows, exploiting the desperation of the poor and the silence of the complicit. It is time for the world to shine a light on this barbaric practice, to demand justice for the victims and accountability from those responsible. The pursuit of justice knows no borders, and the quest for human dignity cannot be silenced by political expediency or fear of reprisal.